This is Nimbus, aka the People's Champion, coming at y'all representing TGN with another video. Yeah, we're gonna do another loadout video, kids. We're gonna be learning you. So, coming at y'all from the living quarters of my backup and my sidekick. This is my little sidekick bed. It's like race car bed, do. Then I got my backup. They got their military cots because they ready to go. They're ready to do at any time. Little troop quarters and whatnot. And if you need a place to sleep, in my house I have a lot of beds. If something happened to the watchtower, Batman and Brother Eye not really getting along, I got places to chill. So if you need an emergency house, I got y'all. But enough about that. We're gonna get to the sparring chav. What's happening, sparring chav? Now, I'm gonna do more than one video of this because I have more than one controller loadout. Alright. One of the tips when choosing a controller loadout is you want to fix your loadout around your POT. Now you're asking, what's a POT? POT is your power over time. With mental, that's going to be either telekinesis or terror tendrils. Now, when you pick one, then you want to work around the rest of your loadout around that POT. That's going to maximize the efficiency of your damage as well as maximize the efficiency of your power. I'll give you an example. This is my bubble pop loadout. Alright? Now, what I chose was telekinesis. What is it? Telekinesis, telekinetic bubble, pyrokinesis, cryokinesis, grandeur, and psychic empowerment. Now remember from my first loadout video, grandeur does not come off my bar. When you're a troll, this should definitely not come off your bar. In a PvP situation, you're gonna have a lot of people targeting you. Shouts out to SOL targeting me in that Zachieved, the fake People's Champion video. A lot of guys like to jump on you at once. You got to get out of there. You got to continue to feed your power to your people. So you want to have grandeur on your bar. That's one of the reasons that you want to have grandeur on your bar at all times. No exception. Anybody that tells you otherwise, tell them holla at the People's Champ. Anyway, so this is your bubble pop loadout. Alright? The reason that I call it a bubble pop loadout is when you have two moves on your bar, such as telekinetic bubble. I always mess that up. Telekinetic bubble and cryokinesis. Those are going to put your opponents in encasements. Cryokinesis, you got to land that twice, put your opponent in a stasis. But you have telekinetic bubble, which is going to put them in a bubble type field. And when that happens, you want to pop it. If that's the main person that you're going after. If it's a whole group of enemies, it can target up to 2 enemies. If you got a group of enemies and whatnot, and you're putting them all in bubbles and whatnot so we can focus one target, then that's good to go too. But you want to pop that target, or you want to at least have somebody else in your team able to pop targets. Now I'm going to show you what you're talking about. But before you even go on to that, I'm rambling on. You got your POT. Now, all good controllers, all of them, want to fire. It does not depend on the power set you have. Anybody with the POT, you want to keep your POT up every 10 to 13 seconds. Your POT is going to wear off in 15. And if your POT wears off, that means that you're probably not doing your job. You want to keep that POT up at all times. Alright? You want to keep a little bit of power on your bar just so you can fire that POT, because that's going to give you your power back. So, obviously, telekinesis looks like this. Zap. Look at my sparring chav. He just doesn't know what to do with himself. Oh my god, I'm in the air! This is nonsense! Alright. Enough fun. So, the next thing you want to do as a troll is, before you even go into that, if you notice at the upper left hand side of your screen, there's a little, what do you call that? There's a little thunderbolt. You want to keep that thunderbolt up at all times. See how it goes away? 15 seconds. Now, fire it again. that means that you have your POT out. My POT is currently 200 because I didn't do the glitch in Paradox. Thanks, Super Patriot. So we have that going on. You're keeping that up now. Sparring Chavs are going to give me a little bit of power back just so I can keep doing what I do. But you want to keep that lightning bolt up. As a controller, that is one of your most important jobs. Do not let that fall off, no matter what. Even if that means you're not going to be throwing out your debuffs, which we're going to get to in a second. Even if that means you don't throw out your debuffs, you want to keep that up at all times. You want to keep that little bit of power for your POT and maybe your grandeur if you absolutely have to break out. Now, let's go on to debuffs. You want to basically, whatever controller loadout that you have, at least as a mental, I'm not quite sure about hard light because hard light's a little weird, but at least with mental, you want to keep the damage debuff on. The damage debuff is going to be in the upper left hand corner. If you notice, excuse me, I'm not upper left hand. Under the target's on the target, you're going to see a little red shield. That shield means that your target is debuffed. You also notice that the target got put in stasis a second ago. We're going to get to that in a minute. So you want to keep that red shield up on your target as much as possible. Not more to get rid of your POT, but you want to keep that red shield up as much as possible. Next, you have your damage debuff. This means that your target is going to start doing a lot less damage. So this time it's cryokinesis. We're going to fire that. And if you look, there's a little red targeted dealie. The little red targeted dealie means that your target doesn't do as much damage as he should be doing. Okay. Also, and this is for real good for PvP and for monsters that like to heal themselves, you have your healing debuff. That's one of the things that makes a troll a troll. This time it's pyrokinesis. So we're gonna fire pyrokinesis, bang. The little heart all the way to the left under the sparring target or sparring chav. That means that your target is healer debuffed. Okay, that means it's not going to heal as much as it normally would. Now, your next, also really important, I should have touched on this a lot earlier, is your power heal. In this case, it's going to be psychic empowerment. Now, if I had other people in my group, I could show you exactly what it does, but you're going to have to take my word for it and do it in your party. What your power heal does is it throws power to the lowest 3 members of your party. So you got, your DPS, another healer, and a tank, and they really need power, whatnot. You throw your power heal, and it spikes out. Okay. Now, it's not going to give you power, but what it does, it gives you a percentage and a might bonus. You can use that for damage, but we're not going to get too deep into that. All right. So you want to keep your power heal going. All right. Now your priorities are obviously number 1 healer, number 2 tank, and number 3 the other controller. Unless you're the sub troll, which if you're in a raid and you're not the one giving out POT, you want to make sure that controller at least have just a little bit amount of power so they can keep throwing that POT. It's usually their responsibility, but you're helping that troll out as the sub troll. When you start doing raids, you'll know what a sub troll is. Now, this is why I call this the bubble pop loadout. Okay? Now, after you fire your POT, bang. Oh, sparring chav is in the air. You fire your telekinetic sheet or whatever, the telekinetic bubble, and then you pop it with pyrokinesis. Oh, you popped out too good. Whatever. We're going to wait for a second. So, the reason why I call this the bubble pop loadout, let's try this again. I got to do it quickly now. Telekinetic shield. He's in the thing. Pop. Now, I want you to notice how he exploded. Alright? It's real crazy how that happened. The reason he exploded is pyrokinesis explodes in casements. So, when your target is encased, you hit him with the pyrokinesis and he's going to explode. With that explosion, he's going to do damage to all of his little friends, all the little friendly chavs around him. Alright? That adds extra damage and it adds a burning effect to all the guys around him. Fire DPSs, fire tanks, they love that. It's delicious to them. They do more damage, they heal themselves. It's beautiful. Now, I'm going to attempt to put this guy in an ice cube, which I did, and then you pop the ice cube, boom, bubble popping. Oh, he's on fire. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's roasting crispy. All you need is some seasonal. He'll be good to chew on. Alright? Now, this is your bubble pop loadout. And again, when you have the telekinesis, which adds a dazed effect, and then you fire your pyrokinesis, it's going to do extra damage. Alright? That's why you want to work your powers around your POT. Everything on here works with everything else. Telekinesis works with telekinetic bubble. Telekinesis works with the pyrokinesis. Telekinesis works with the cryokinesis. Because when you have the daze effect, it does more damage. It's a beautiful thing. That's why you want to keep those on the bar. So, we're going to end this with a typical situation where, alright, you keep your POT up, fire your power heal, put them in the bubble, then you bubble pop them, you fire your power heal again, and you want to make sure everything's going on. Also, I have a rifle. What you want to use your weapon for is you want to build up your power. You want to keep your power build up, at least have that little bit of power so you can fire that pyrokinesis again, put them in a bubble, pop them. It's a beautiful thing. And now you're a beast troll. You can go in and do just about anything in the party. Just make sure your party is healed. And that's my first video with the bubble pop loadout on mental trolling. So stay tuned for part 2, which we'll be dealing with terror trolling. And that's about it. This is Nimbus Yosh, aka the People's Champion, representing TGN, reminding you to be cool, stay safe, mind your butter, and holler back at your boy. Oh, and keep your party power here. That's how you do your job. Now holler back at your boy, Percy. These loadout videos are fun. They're gonna do some more.